Why is it the moment you say, let's start recording, the dog is like, it's time for me to bark. Oh, oh. It's like, wow, okay.
He has his own podcast. And this is his way of like advertising to other dogs.
Other dog. Wow.
Yeah, because he knows that we have listeners who are dog lovers.
Do we even have listeners though? Oh no, wait. The
We don't.
Shh, that's not. No, if you don't say it out loud, it won't manifest. So I take it back.
We have listeners. Guys, let us know if you're listening to us, please. Like,
I was trying to silently chew my food, and then you burped, and I'm like, okay, we're not ready for this. We're both not ready. As usual, I'm still trying to make this a mukbang show.
Yeah, Gabby gets hungry whenever we do a recording. It's like...
It takes so much energy.
What was I about to say?
I'm sorry.
I forgot. That's Gabby. She's eating.
And that's Kalai. She forgets things. And welcome to Creepy Conversations with Kalai and Gabby.
You know, we had like, before we started, like last night, we were having a meeting and we were like, oh, we should talk about this in our podcast. And now we completely forgot about it. And like right before we started recording, we had like, oh, let's do this. And then like we forgot about it.
Oh my God. Yes. It didn't even take a few hours for it to just get forgotten. It was like...
Literally, like, I feel like it was just like 20 minutes ago.
Not even, like maybe even less.
I even wrote it down and I just completely ignored it on my notebook.
Oh my God. You know, I'm trying to look for our notes from last night just to see what we actually wanted to talk about, but I don't think we even wrote it because we just...
I don't think we...
You know how we just felt like we will remember this tomorrow?
We are so confident in our memory that we never write things down and then we forget about things and then we're always like, we should have written it down. But we never do it because we forget to write it down. It's a cycle.
No, but like even if we write things down, it's a 50-50.
Yeah, we forget the fact that we
wrote it
down. For example, 20 minutes ago, I wrote down what we were supposed to talk about, and we completely forgot about it.
Yep.
So for our new listeners, this is just like a taste of what we are.
This is normal conversations with us. I'm pretty sure you guys have friends like us. Like, nobody's perfect except us. Kidding.
That you might be like us.
Yeah. This episode, I'm sober.
Welcome. Oh my God, me too.
We're sober again. Your therapist is going to be so proud.
That's true. For the first time in like a week, you're sober.
In a week. Hey, but that's what you wanted to do, right? Wanted you to do.
No.
Like, at least be sober for a week.
Try.
You did it. Congratulations.
Congratulations to me. And we're going to be talking about... Are we going to...
Yeah.
Start talking?
I think so, because I really don't know what else we wanted to talk about because I can't remember for shit.
I feel like we were going to talk about something regarding the coronavirus.
Yeah, but it's like, then, what about the coronavirus?
What were we going to talk about the coronavirus?
No, we were going to talk about roaches. How the fact that you had roaches yesterday. And then it started. Wait, what was it again? Oh, you were like...
If you accidentally bring, let's say, a roach from Singapore accidentally rides on the plane and then gets off in the Philippines, will he get along with other roaches or will they attack him or, you know...
I think it's going to be like
whatever.
A mean girl situation, but at the same time, there's this one person who'll be like, dude, you're new, I'll show you around.
And he'd be like, dude, you know what? There's actually this one roach who's also a little bit different than all of us. I feel like you'd get along. That roach is from Germany. He's a bit bigger than all of us.
And we got to this conclusion.
Why are you talking about roaches?
No, I was going to bring up the fact that you were confused why you had roaches when it wasn't even raining there. And I was like, oh, but it's raining in Singapore, like yesterday. And then now it's like raining there. So then I thought like, oh, the roach is early because he kind of knew what was coming.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of rain, Gab?
Yeah, I'm eating, sorry.
Oh, I thought... Speaking of rain, it rained while the sun was out. Like usually when it's raining, it's cloudy, it's dark, but like there's sunshine, but there's also rain.
Mhm.
And like speaking of Tikbalang, like that's like a belief, right? We'll talk about it later. Let's just talk about Tikbalangs first. So, if you're not from the Philippines, I don't think you'd be familiar with what a tikbalang is, because in the Philippines, it's like a very famous mythical creature. So, it's also known as the demon horse. It lives in the mountains and forests in the Philippines, and it is scary as fuck. Sorry if you're a tikbalang and you're listening right now. I apologize, but dude, you are scary. They're tall and bony. They're kind of like a humanoid creature with a head and hooves of a horse, and like they have disproportionately long limbs to the point when they sit down or when they squat, their knees reach above their head. Or not above, but like,
It's like
it
more or
reaches
less.
their head.
What the fuck?
So it's like their squat game is strong, man. They're also known as the guards to the gateway to the sky world, and their other names are also night horse, and yeah, they're known to be very mischievous, so they're known to like play pranks on you. Specifically,
Why do they kind of sound like an Egyptian mythological creature? You know how they guard some stuff, but it's usually just like a head of a jackal or a bird for Egyptians.
Yeah, let's go back like a little bit of history from about Tikbalangs. Like, I got my sources from the aswangproject.com, which is like, if you've listened to our previous episodes, that's like our Bible, and they have like this really great documentary about the Tikbalangs.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Tikbalang, the demon horse, and it's on YouTube. So if you guys have time, go check it out. It's a really, really good documentary. It's like 15 minutes long, so you definitely have time to check it out. And it's really detailed. It goes like back to the history of the Tikbalangs, which I'm probably just gonna recap because I don't want you guys to like stop listening to us.
Of course.
So just like a really quick history trivia. So people initially thought that the Spaniards, if you're not from the Philippines was colonized by the Spanish people. So they initially thought that the Spaniards were the one who brought them to us because they brought them to us because they were the ones who brought the horses to the Philippines. It's crazy to think that the Philippines did not have horses before.
I can't imagine.
Or maybe we had like a different kind of horse.
A pony. I think all our animals are like
Probably.
small.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, but then they found in like the history notebooks, there was a priest that noted that the natives feared and also talked about the Tikbalang like before the Spaniards arrived. And according to the Aswang Project, they think that it goes back like way back before we were colonized, like before the trading part, where our like the ancient natives used to believe in animism, which is like the world, like the earth, the rocks, the animals, the plants, they all have like a consciousness and spirit. And then the Tikbalang is like the, what do you call that? A physical form.
I didn't even try helping
of one
you.
of those.
I was so engrossed in my noodles.
They're like the physical form of like one of those spirits, because you know these spirits, they're not all good and they're not all bad. So yeah, and the Tikbalang is like one of them. And then they also think that in the Hindu mythology, I'm now a bit nervous because I'm not sure if I'm talking about it correctly, but yeah, there's this god called Hayagriva, who is the god of knowledge and wisdom, and he symbolically represents the triumph of pure knowledge. So he's like kind of his avatar, or how he looks like, or how he's drawn, is that his head is a horse and his body is human. So that also is found in like old images of Hayagriva in China. This isn't just found in India or in Hinduism, but it's also found in China. And yeah, why he's a demon, since, you know, he's the god of wisdom, he's supposed to be like, you know, good or whatever. They think that he evolved into some kind of like further down history. They found another sculpture in Cambodia, which they also practice Hinduism, but this is like a different god, like a radical version of Vishnu. Oh wait, sorry, I didn't say that. I didn't say it earlier. Hayagriva is like the avatar of the god Vishnu in Hinduism. So yeah, and then fast forward in Cambodia, they found a sculpture of Vadavamuka, which sounds like a vampire's name.
Yeah.
Vadavamuka. He's like a radical version of Vishnu. So he's still the god of knowledge and wisdom, but he has like extremist beliefs. So what he feels is correct, and what he feels is wrong is wrong.
Oh my god,
So,
superiority complex much.
yeah, yes, and he like, I feel like this dude's a Libra because he's all about balance. So what he feels like is correct should be done, and what's wrong should be punished, you know, in that kind of way, in a bad kind of way. So that's why they think that he eventually evolved into like a demon, and eventually evolved into a Tikbalang.
Wow.
So yeah, back to the Tikbalang. So what do Tikbalang do? I'm actually scared of saying
Their name?
the creature's name out loud because I feel like one of them might be listening. One of my neighbors might be a Tikbalang.
Oh my god.
And I might get their description wrong, and they might get mad.
Oh my god.
I want to see a
You're gonna
Tikbalang,
end up
dude.
pregnant.
Oh my god.
That's what they do,
Exactly
right?
why. Yeah, that's what they do. They're mostly harmless, but there are reported cases of Tikbalangs stalking women and raping women, and some of them even like actually court women. So yeah, they fall in love with humans.
What is up with our creatures?
I don't want none of that.
It's
Right?
not just them. It's also the Capri, right? And sometimes even a duende. Why did I say that? I don't like it.
We are scared of our creatures. I kind of feel like they don't exist, but in case they do, we are hella scared of
We
them.
totally
'cause
respect
they're-
you guys.
Yeah, and the way they're described by like the ancient people, they're not the kind of creatures
don't
that
wanna
you
mess
mess
with.
with.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not just like regular gods or like regular demons or whatever that you can summon and like drink tea with. They're not that kind. They're not that kind. So yeah, aside from, you know, scaring women, they also are, like I mentioned earlier, they're very mischievous. So they love to scare travelers, and they love to play tricks on them. So one of the most like known cases of Tikbalang, like they're like, you as a traveler, you would know that a Tikbalang is around is if you're like, for example, you're like hiking in the forest and you end up like
Getting lost.
going around in the same
Yep.
place. Like you're kind of lost, but you know you've been in the same place, like you're barely moving. So that's a sign that a Tikbalang is playing tricks on you. And the only way you can get out of that, because you're gonna be like in a limbo in that certain
Yep.
place for like minutes and hours, depending on how much the Tikbalang wants to mess with you. So the only way for you to get out of that is to turn your clothes around. Like you have to take them off and wear them
Backwards.
inside
Yep.
out. Yeah. And then another countermeasure is like up until today, people still do this, is like when you say tabi tabi po, or like in our dialect, you just say maagimi or manabi, like that.
It means excuse
Which
me.
means like, yeah, which means excuse me, we're gonna be passing through. Like you let them know that you're showing respect at the same time, but you also let them know that you're gonna be passing politely. So yeah, I like the thought of like how the natives kind of respected everything because they believed that everything has a soul. I wish that
We were
up
Pocahontas.
until now, people should still do that so that we don't like throw trash everywhere
Exactly.
and whatever. Yeah. Whoever removed those beliefs, god damn it, colonizers.
You know who threw those away. We can't just be seen racist. That's why we can't say shit.
Yeah. Also, back to the Tikbalangs. They can also fool around. This one I had no idea that they can do, but yeah, I've read about these things, but I don't think like this happens in our region. Because most of the time I hear about Tikbalangs, they're usually in Luzon, which is like the upper part of the Philippines for those who aren't from the Philippines. And they're like, it's like the upper part of the Philippines where Manila is. That I usually hear about the Tikbalangs there. Here in our region, it's usually
We rarely
like
do.
the Tigbin.
Yep.
Yeah, we rarely talk about this dude, the Tikbalang. He has favorites. So yeah, back to the thing that I had no idea. The Tikbalangs can fool around with your nightmares.
What?
So you can, yeah. So what they can do is that they can make you get lost in your nightmares.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And there's this thing when someone wakes up crazy, they would just say he's not crazy. He is still living in the world of the Tikbalangs. Because, the Tikbalang kind of messed him up in his dreams. That's why he's like reacting different to our reality, because he's still kind of like half
stuck.
living, kind of stuck in the place where like the Tikbalang was like having fun with him.
Whoa.
And also, like I mentioned earlier, if it rains on a sunny day, it means a Tikbalang is getting married. Does that mean he's getting married to a human woman? Or I've never heard of a woman Tikbalang.
Same.
And they're usually drawn as a man.
They are. I actually haven't. Yeah. I don't know. Because we always, every time someone brings up the word Tikbalang, it's always like, okay, it's a guy.
Yeah, immediately you would assume that it's a guy. Are centaurs also like that? Am I talking about the correct creature? Centaur or Minotaur?
Wait, what's...
Minotaur, right?
I think Minotaur, because centaur...
What is half the man half?
Centaur. Wait,
Is it?
Centaur.
Let's Google it.
It's a centaur.
A
because
centaur.
Minotaur is bull.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, he's kind of like a reverse centaur. And centaurs too are like usually men.
Yes.
Right?
But I think they're like female. I don't know.
Right?
We should have some, like, if you guys know, leave us a message. Educate everyone.
Yeah, educate us especially.
Oh my god, especially since it's International Women's Month. We need we need to identify if there are any female Tikbalangs.
I feel like there are, but not a lot. Because I'm pretty sure there aren't a lot of Tikbalangs left in this century, and then like lesser. If you're a Tikbalang, hit us up. We won't tell anyone, I swear.
It's our secret.
It's our secret.
Anyway.
So where was I?
Oh my god.
Right.
Raining and weddings.
Yeah. So it means like today that happened. It was raining while the sun was out. So I guess a Tikbalang got married. Congratulations to you, brother or sister. Hope you have a happy married life.
Whatever that means.
It didn't sound like
you weren't sincere.
I hope you have. I am, dude.
No, it's different coming from someone who doesn't really believe in like getting married and shit. So it's like, I hope you have fun.
I'm sure you're gonna be happy, but like
I don't know what that means.
In general, I don't know what happiness means.
Oh! Okay, that escalated quickly.
It goes dark. By the way, did you know that you can tame a Tikbalang? So what you need to do, I would advise against this, especially if there are like Tikbalangs listening to this. Like, we're not pro taming you guys. You be free.
Yes.
So, yeah. But, in case, for the curious, which, again, we advise against, the mane of the Tikbalang is made out of sharp spines. If you can pluck one of them, a Tikbalang cannot hurt you. And you can also use that to subdue them, like put it around their neck,
What?
which is, scary. If you think about the fact that they have long limbs, dude, they can sucker punch the shit out of you.
How do you even reach their neck?
Right? Anyway, I'll get to that. To keep a tikbalang as a servant, which again, we're not pro-slavery, we advise against.
Yes.
You either subdue them by leaping on their back with a specially prepared cord. I try to look for what the specially prepared cord is made out of. I can't find it. So I'm pretty sure it might be... Wait, no, I'm not sure. But it might be the tail. To our new listeners, welcome. It could be the tail of the stingray because, like...
All the time.
And in our past episodes, that shit has been mentioned all the time to, like, fight against the supernatural beings. But yeah... Or it could be like some special cord created by or like blessed by the mangkukulams. Which if you're a new listener, a mangkukulam is basically the Filipino version of witches, but they're not, like the Harry Potter kind of witches. They're scary as fuck. Like you literally do not want to mess with them. They still exist to this day. Like they can like make cockroaches crawl out of your pores or whatever.
That's nasty.
And they can kill you. So yeah, once you hop on their back, the tamer must hang on while the tikbalang tries to dislodge whoever wants. Yeah, you. And then once that happens, you try to pluck, because the mane of the tikbalang is very important to us, which, by the way, I can relate. My hair is very important to me.
Yeah, she wouldn't even dye it because she's afraid it might die.
Yeah. I don't want my hair to die by dyeing it. So yeah, they have these 3 golden hairs. Mane? What do you call that? Whatever hair of the horse
mane,
at the back of their head. Their mane. You pluck the 3 golden mane. It sounds wrong. You pluck those 3 golden whatevers in their head, in their mane, and then they will, like, become your servant. Another way to do that, if you don't want to, like, hop on to a tikbalang, like, because why the fuck would you? While the tikbalang is sleeping, pluck the 3 golden hair from his mane before he wakes up and eats you, because they will try to eat you if they feel like they're getting threatened.
What? They eat people? I didn't know that. Okay.
They eat people if you try to subdue them. So that's that. And that's the tikbalang. It's pretty short, but yeah. That's them.
Okay, you know what? I read this thing online and then talking about the subduing part, and it was written so bad. Well, it's not written so bad, but just like weirdly put together, because this is how he wrote it. You have to get 3 strands of the creature's mane or ride the beast to exhaustion. And I died. I screamed.
That's true.
No, I screamed because
in Wikipedia, that's how they say it.
I don't like how it says ride the beast to exhaustion. This is not a centaur. Do you know what that means? Like, what? Excuse me?
It sounds so PG-18. Like, it sounds so wrong. Ride the beast till he's exhausted.
It's like,
it feels like a lyric from Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, or like a Chris Brown song.
Right? The fuck?
But you explain it so...
So you could go both ways. If you're a girl, you can ride the front. If you're a guy, or, whatever you want to do. Maybe the tikbalang also likes guys. Try it.
Oh,
we'll never know. Oh, by the way, in popular culture, right now, I'm literally reading off Wikipedia because they're the only ones that have
there's not much out there.
A summarized version, about the tikbalangs in popular culture. So the Tikbalang, the horse demon, was the first episode of the 2015 Creatures of the Philippines mythology. I mentioned that earlier by Aswang Project. There's also a book called The Mythology Class by Arnold Are, where a creature called Lucio, who's a Tikbalang, which is featured in the book. There's also a book called Tikbalang kung kabilugan ng buwan, which means like Tikbalang if the moon is full, which is a children's book.
What? Why would you have a children's book about
Dude,
that?
there are so many children's books about our mythical creatures. Like, there's one that's about the manananggal, who's also like, who befriended a kid manananggal, which is, the story is actually really cute. And then there's a lot about the manananggals.
Because there's the most common one.
Yeah. And then this one, the Tikbalangs. And there's a Tikbalang that is featured as a fae in Series 3, Episode 10 of the sci-fi supernatural drama called The Lost Girl, which is a Canadian TV show.
Why do we...
TV show.
Haven't you noticed it's usually like Canadian TV shows that feature...
Canadians.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. They love us.
We love you guys too.
We want to move there.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. If you guys are listening, help us. I've mentioned this book before, Tresse.
Yep.
But I don't know how to pronounce his name. Bajatan. Whatever.
We keep saying we don't know how to pronounce his name.
I love you. I love you. I just can't pronounce your name. But yeah, he's also in the documentary, in the Tikbalang documentary by Aswang Project. In Tresse, he has a character who's a Tikbalang and he's pretty badass. So you guys, if you have time, buy the book because it's going to be turned into a next Netflix
series. Yes.
TV show. Yeah, series. It's a really good book. Series of books. It's good. Support it.
Is it in English?
Yeah. Most of it is sold in English, but there's also like Tagalog versions of it.
Yep. No, because I was just afraid we'd be promoting something they don't understand.
It's mostly in English. Like from what I've seen in National Bookstore, most of the books are in English, but there's like Tagalog versions of it.
Wow.
But I think it was made in English first.
Okay. That's good. We should really get ourselves copies.
I have one.
Oh my god, I don't. Well, oops. It was just me.
You're too far. It could be in your library.
We'll see. I rarely go out now because coronavirus.
Oh, right. Because speaking of like libraries, I have the app Libby, and in Ohio, I'm using the Ohio Digital Library. They have a copy of Tresse there.
What?
So, yeah.
Amazing. I'm so proud.
Yeah, me too. I was like, dude,
like, yeah.
Because I was just trying it, and then it appeared. Like, I think the first 3 books are there.
That's good. You know what about the Tikbalang? I just found out that it's them causing about the getting lost in the forest. I didn't know that it was them that was causing that. I thought it was some whole other entity.
Me too.
And then it just got me thinking, my cousin's friend used to babysit me. Like they would take turns and stuff. And then she told me the story before that her and her friends went camping, and then to get to the campsite they had to trek through a jungle of some sort. Cause
ooh, dude, I have like a sort of similar story.
Yeah.
Go on.
And then, well, I don't really have much detail about it. It's just that I remember that she said they kind of got lost, and it already got to a point where they knew they were walking in circles. And the group was a mixed gender group, so the guys were like, okay, you know what, let's flip our clothes because we know the drill. And they start doing that, and then the girls were like, what the fuck, we can't just change in front of you guys. And then the guys were like, okay, suit yourself. And so the guys, they changed, and then the girls were like, shit, you can't leave us here. Because they might be able to find their way back, except for Yeah, the girls.
The girls.
So they had to flip their clothes, and apparently it depends on how bad the Tikbalang wants to prank you, because
Mm-hmm.
one of their friends didn't find his way back because they only flipped their top layers.
Oh.
And yeah, so they all of them just flipped their top layers, and all except one found their way back. And
oh my god.
yeah, and it's crazy to think, like, you know that the Tikbalang is playing favorites, like he wants to
Mm-hmm.
play with that person, so he had to flip everything, including his undergarments.
Oh my god. Dude, my theory about Tikbalang liking men. What?
Oh! Well, I don't think we care about gender. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even before, our people,
It's fine, yeah.
our people are pansexuals, I would say.
Yeah. And then religion came, and then they were like, oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, we had so many
Fine.
rules right after.
Yeah.
But that's not my wait, what is my story? It's so annoying because I kept trying to find different stories to share, but there's really not much out there. And when they do write about it or talk about it, there is no detail. It's just like, this happened to me and then done. And they don't even see the creature or the stories they share. Yeah, they just say they know it's because of the Tikbalang, but they haven't really seen the creature in person.
There's actually, I was searching about it on YouTube, and then there are like actual news clips about
but then we always
girls
have that.
being like, yeah, that's true. Like there was like this special from I forgot what show
Rated
that
gay.
was. But I think that's it. Like where the Tikbalang courted
and impregnated her. I don't know how that works.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I was looking.
I have so many questions.
It was what do you call this? It was a video on YouTube. I will link it up on our socials. Although it's just a teaser because they actually want you to watch the entire video. Yeah, on their channel. But the thing was, there was this Tikbalang who courted her, but of course she said no. And at that time, she was also already married. And so...
What?
Yeah, so she was already married, but the Tikbalang wanted to pursue her. And then, obviously, she said no. So, that enraged the Tikbalang. So, what he did was he impregnated her in her sleep.
Ew.
How do you even explain that to your husband? It's like, oh my god.
You know,
if Mary was Filipino, I think...
Dude, Jesus would be half Tikbalang. For real.
It's like half horse. Oh my god. Did we just go there? Sorry, I brought us there.
Sorry for those who are religious. We're just... This is...
It's a theory.
This is us.
Yeah.
It's a theory. And Jesus wasn't Filipino, so... But if he was...
Then yeah.
You know what's up?
Oh my god, what if it's just an excuse made by people who
get... lady?
Yeah. Like, either you cheat on someone or like you just get pregnant outside of marriage, and then to save face, it's like, oh, this creature did it to me while I was asleep, or like I didn't know.
Most likely she cheated and she was like,
fuck.
Yeah, and like made an excuse. Most likely, if we're like talking about in a reality without Tikbalangs, that could be the reason. Or, you know, she could have been raped by an actual human in her sleep.
Yeah.
It's that. Either way.
And
both are great.
A lot of people from the province would actually believe and take that as a valid excuse.
Yeah, because they don't know
any better.
any better. Yeah, that's the belief that they've had passed on to them.
Yep. And
so that's the thing that they accept also.
Her husband actually accepted that.
What?
He agreed, yeah, it was a Tikbalang. I really don't know. I wasn't able to finish the video because it was only the teaser. I had to sign up for the Rated K channel, which I don't want to do. So I don't know how that turned out.
Yeah. Could you imagine the kid growing up and you're like the husband and you're like, you're kind of looking a little bit like
our neighbor. And then they start saying, okay, our neighbor is the Tikbalang. What the fuck?
Dude, that's so true. That is so true.
Everything is making sense now.
Right?
Yes.
People have died because of stories that are made up by other people just so they won't be judged by other people.
Oh, gosh. We figured it out. It's actually just the neighbor.
We are geniuses.
But I found this other one online, and it's also a different kind of story to Tikbalang. So we have the getting lost, right? And then now we had the impregnating while asleep or something. But this one is very the story is quite harmless. So it happened in February 3 years ago, where this dude went back to the province to visit their ancestral homes, and they were cleaning the place, and their nanny cut the balete tree outside their house. So it was kind of part of the cleaning process. They were doing spring cleaning. Everything was being cleaned. And he helped the nanny try to cut down the tree. Right after that happens, when they get home, their house started to reek. It just smelled so bad. And they just thought it was nothing. They didn't know where it was coming from, but they also didn't think anything of it. They just tried to remove the smell or cover it up or whatever. And then so they went to sleep. And in the middle of the night, things started falling off their cabinets. And it's not the type wherein you'd think it's just the mice or the wind. It was really things coming out of it. And his mom was like, I think this has something to do with us cutting down the tree.
Because why would you?
Exactly. Trees are your friends, guys.
Yeah.
So the next day, they were asking around the neighborhood, telling them about what happened last night with the things falling off the cabinet. And then they start hearing stories a creature lives in the balete tree that you guys cut.
No one ever thought of warning them before they did that.
I don't know. Maybe because it's in their property, so you can't really. It's what's in my property is mine, and I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But they never mentioned what kind of creature. They just said there was a creature there. So after hearing that, they went to the village spirit doctor, and they told him about how after they cut the tree, the house started smelling funky, and then things were falling off the shelves. Oh, and they said that their neighbors also told them that some creature lives in that tree, and they think that's why these things are happening. And at first they thought it was a capre, because that's how it usually is. But the spirit doctor was like, did the weird smell remotely smell like cigarettes or tobacco? And it didn't. It was totally different. So then they came to a conclusion that it was a tikbalang. And they were extremely scared because of that whole sleeping with a woman and making them pregnant thing. And and he mentions that a tikbalang is most likely to be enamored by someone or a woman with really distinct smelling perfumes, or when you smell good, when you smell nice.
Oh, okay. Thank God I don't like perfume.
Yeah, I wear cologne. Oh. like it's gonna make it any different. But I rarely do, so that's like, we're safe, we're safe.
Yeah. Not in front of Tikbalang.
It's like, be stinky, you guys. It has its perks. So, yeah, the next night, this guy tried to stay awake the whole night because he wanted to protect his mom.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, nothing really happened much. He said that he noticed that the creature wasn't really the bad type, but he was just a bit angry that they destroyed his home. That's why he was doing these things. But he didn't really try to cause them harm. It was just to, cause a ruckus.
What a rascal.
So they went back to the spirit doctor and asked him to do a ceremony of some sort so they can transfer the Tikbalang to a new home. Like, put him in a different habitat. So,
dude, he was there first. What are you talking about?
But what did you expect? I'm like, there was no tree. There's no tree anymore. It's like, oh, just live in our ancestral home and we'll find somewhere else to live.
Oh, God.
Yeah, after that, like, everything was peaceful. So maybe they were, like, successful with their move. And yeah, that's it. It's not really a scary story, but, like, you get different things about this creature.
Yeah. I actually had, like, kind of, like, a sort of experience about a manananggal, but I was too young to, like, remember it. But I remember people talking about it because I was from school going home. I was riding a tricycle.
Wait, manananggal or Tikbalang?
No, Tikbalang. What did I say? Is it manananggal?
Yeah, you said manananggal. I'm like, okay, why are we there now?
What the hell is wrong with the Tikbalang? And, like, I remember the tricycle was, like, we were, like, in the same area. Like, we weren't going around in circles. It was just, like, we were moving, but the path was straight, but it felt like we were, like, around the same houses again. And then, like,
that sounds like Singapore.
Tricycle... No, but the houses in our old village was different because you know how it is when... Anyway, I'm not going to explain that part. But the village before was like a forest. It was like in a mountainous area, which they turned into a forest, into a subdivision. So I feel like there were still like lingering shit there. And what the driver did was like he stopped. And then he said something, and then he told us that something was playing tricks on us. And then he turned his shirt inside out. And then we got out of it. Like, it was just that simple. So, for me, it was like, did that really happen? Or what happened?
But at least, like...
And it was me and our helper and, like, a bunch of other people in the tricycle. But it was just the tricycle driver who, like, turned his shirt inside out. I feel like that happened, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that happened to him before, and he, like, already knows that, oh... The shit is happening to me again.
Oh my god. How can you live with that though? It's like, oh, it's this again. Right. I know the drill.
And the same thing happened to my mom when they were in Mount Makiling. And Mount Makiling is like known to have like a lot of supernatural creatures.
Really? Did she see?
Did
she see the creature or something?
No, according to her, when they were younger, because my mom's from Manila, they heard the sound of a horse in the mountains. And that's when they realized that a Tikbalang was playing around with them. So her, along with like her other friends, because they were hiking, and they were hiking in the mountains, and they were planning to like camp or whatever. I don't know what people do in Mount Makiling. It's that. So, yeah, and then they just turned their, like, clothes...
Inside out.
Upside down. Inside out. Upside down. Inside out.
Can you imagine, like, upside down? How does that work? It's like, wear your shorts on your head.
And that's, like, her only, like, memory about the Tikbalangs. And I was, like... Because we don't really talk about Tikbalangs here in Cebu, like, where Gabby and I are from. We don't really talk about that thing. It doesn't exist here.
They're foreigners.
Yes,
foreign creatures.
Foreign creatures from another part of the country.
Yeah. Anyone who's not from Cebu is considered a foreigner. Okay. I mean, that's how we see it.
Yeah, we're like, we don't speak your language.
Exactly. No, I think that's what happens when you're from an archipelago. It's like, if you're from a different island, like, you can't...
We're not from the same country.
You can't sit with us.
Yeah, that's so true. So yeah, that's the Tikbalang. If you guys have like stories about the
I
Tikbalang,
actually want to hear stories where people actually saw the creature.
yeah, and like they haunted you or whatever. Or, like, I don't know what Tikbalangs do. If you're a Tikbalang, let us know, dude. We don't want to see you. Just to be clear.
Okay, let's do this new thing wherein we rate the creepiness of the creature.
Ooh.
So
right.
How like out of 10, how scary is the Tikbalang for you?
Ooh, you know what? How we should rate them? By how many letter U's should you add in the word fuck? Like that's how scary they are. If it's just fuck, then it's like, oh, that's just one. If it's like fuck,
how many U's is that?
That's like,
that's a bit
how many
difficult.
U's do you think Tikbalang deserve to have?
At first, before learning a bit more, before learning more about them, what the fuck? My brain's not working. I was thinking of 4, just like fuck.
Right.
Yeah, because I thought they wouldn't do anything remotely scary. But now I think it's 7. 6, yeah. 6.5 to a 7.
Right. Yeah. That's like, fuck. Are we really doing this?
I like it. I mean, like, let's keep it like this every time we do a creature episode.
I agree. It's like a 6.5 to 7 U's in fuck. Because the raping part, dude, no, I don't want that.
Exactly.
And also, they look hideous. Like,
and they eat people.
Shit. Sorry.
Did you okay, she said that. Kalai said that.
If you're a Tikbalang, I'm so sorry. But dude, I feel like you know that you look hideous. So yeah, but I appreciate your squat game.
Yeah. They should feel like it's a compliment though. I mean, like, if you're a creepy creature, a scary creature, you would want to look scary, right?
Yeah.
Right? So take it as a compliment.
You would want to have a lot of use in the word fuck. You would want people to see you and be like fuck. Right?
Let us know how many U's you guys think the Tikbalang should get.
Yeah. And let us know if you know if there are women Tikbalang.
Yes, we still haven't figured that out.
If you're a Tikbalang, let us know. I swear to God, we're not going to tell anyone.
And don't forget to wait, what? Is it supposed to be subscribe, rate,
right?
And comment on iTunes. God. Thanks for...
And...
Yep.
And follow us on our socials.
God, we're so all over the place. Thanks for creeping, you fucking creeper.
And remember, the government is always watching you. Bye.